Oh, hi. Well, hello, 'tis future me, well, current day me. I filmed this video last year. I think the last day I filmed it was on Christmas Eve, so obviously I wasn't gonna edit it on Christmas Day, and then by then it seemed pointless to put the video out. Also, I was outrageously ill when I was filming this, as you're going to hear, and I probably complain about a lot in the video. I haven't watched any of the footage back since I filmed. I hope it makes sense. I made some stockings, and they didn't come out too bad. I'm gonna come back at the end because I realized I should add hanging tabs at the back, so I'm gonna show that step once the deathbed version of me is done her spiel onto whatever madness occurred 1 year ago. So we're gonna get right into a here's what you need, because I need to show you how pretty this beer is. Like, how? And also, even the foam is pink. I don't know if I've shown this beer on here before, but it's one of my favorites, and it's also a 311 reference, which little baby high school me was very into 311. Also like middle school and elementary school me, but I didn't get to go see them until I was like 16, going on 17. All right, this is like a very holiday-centric project. We're gonna make some stockings because it's something I've been meaning to make. Thought it would be a very sweet sentimental gift for the gang I hang out with on Christmas. Yeah, I found some different flannels that kind of suit everybody, color palette wise or print wise. There are 5 of us, right? Yeah, that's good math. So they're all gonna have the same front and back. I have enough fabric of all the types I want to use for that. I was thinking of using fusible fleece, but I have so much of this Polar Tech fleece and it's real thick. I'm basically gonna use it as like a sew-in batting. And then I have this big pile of scrap polka dot fabric that can be a lining. I'm not as worried about what that looks like because it's the outside of the sock you care about. I'm gonna find some paper somewhere. Well, that went super smoothly. Cool, cool, cool. Just draw a big sock shape. Let's pretend that line's straight. I don't know, does that look reasonable? Okay, I think this is gonna work. Now, before I cut out any of the fabric, I'm gonna iron it all. And you can tell these are gifts for other people because I would not iron these otherwise. Well, hey, it's the next day. I got all my pieces cut out. I underestimated the fact that I had 30 pieces of fabric to cut and iron, so it was time consuming. And then I went and did some holly jolly wholesome holiday bullshit. It was actually a very pleasant evening with family. My cold hasn't just miraculously gone away and is worse today, so I get some throat comfort tea. I figured this was worth opening on camera. I got this sent to my P.O. box. Massive, oddly shaped box. My guess is that it's from Cheryl. It says from a sew and back, and she said she was sending me some type of measuring device. Oh shit, it's massive! Cheryl! I don't know like what I do in this world to be on the receiving end of such just kind, thoughtful things. And I never mention anything in my videos with the intent of like hoping somebody sends me stuff. This is amazing! She said she's sending her favorite measuring tool, and she's a quilter. If you don't know who Cheryl is, you are missing out on one of the funniest ladies in the world. You should check out her Instagram. I will put her handle in the description because she makes some amazing stuff. I just got that wave, like I'm gonna start crying, so I'm going to put this away. Thank you so much. It is an honor to be your friend, Cheryl. Thank you so much. I'm getting choked up. It is making my throat hurt more. How dare you? Hey y'all, I got caught up after pinning all my stuff and just started stitching. I didn't explain how I made my fabric sandwiches. I'm listening to the Candle Nights episode of Ma Bim Bam, and I was just taken away to a world of whimsy. But here are the layers I have. So I have opposing feet shapes so that they can sandwich together like that afterwards, but we'll get to that when it's time. I have my lining layer right side out, this fleece layer that I'm using as a batting, that sandwiched in the middle. I just made sure they're all facing the same way. Textures are consistent, and then I have my fashion fabric right side facing out. I also need to find a trim. I'm trying to decide if I want them all to have white trim or if I'm gonna get fancy and colorful with it. Okay, so listen, this is going to shock 0% of you, but I feel worse today, but we're persevering because I'm getting these fucking stockings done. I have all the edges stitched together, and you may be saying, that all seems excessive, but when I have a bunch of layers to stitch together like this, I just cut out the top one to the size it needs to be, so I have wiggle room with the other layers, and this is all just scrap stuff, so I wasn't worried about saving a lot of it. And any of the scraps, like this pile here, is gonna be perfect stuffing for some of Bert's little toys, but nobody tell him he's getting more toys for Christmas. So yeah, I'm gonna serge all of this stuff off so that all the pieces will look like this. See you on the other side. Now we're gonna put them all right sides together. Man, I feel aces. Pin them thusly and then just making sure I'm stitching inside the serging lines and the basting stitches I did to put all the layers together in the first place. I'm just not going to sew over the top because how do you put stuff in it if it doesn't have an opening? Cool, you get it. You've used stockings before. Okay, they are all assembled except for the top bit. So I'm leaving this top edge, raw, it's serged. Now we're gonna pick some fabric to do the top edges of these. They're a little like tall and skinny, but I think doing a 4 or 5 inch fuzzy bit will make it look reasonable sized. So I have a variety of cozy materials. So I have like a thick Polartec fleece. I'm gonna match with this. I think I have a little bit of flannel I'm gonna use for this one. Blue fleece I'm gonna use for my Doctor Who one. I'm very excited that I'm finally using this fabric for something. This purple fleece to go with this. And then this perfectly matches the little triangles for the llama fabric. Ooh, I get to use my flexi curve. Hell yeah. I mean, I can just use a ruler of whatever size. That's encouraging. They are all actually the same size. Cut strips that are 5 inches tall because I want a 4-inch band. So if I do 5 inches, I'm gonna serge the bottom edge and hem it up just that 1/4 inch. So that's gonna eat up some of that. And then the seam allowance for attaching it to the top edge. And then the tops of these are 6.5 inches across. So I'm gonna call it 7 and then double that. And I'll just make sure to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance on the end of the loop. Okay, 5 inches by 14 inches is what I need. And if I need to, I can do 2 pieces and just have 2 seams. We're gonna use up a lot of this fleece. I'm excited to like be busting my stash. That sounds gross. It's like blast my cash, but you know, sewing specific. It's one of my strips. I have the long edges serged already, right sides together, and then serge the short ends together, or sew, you know, you don't need a serger for any of this. But I have one, so I'm gonna use it. Okay, now I have all my little loops. I'm gonna fold one of the edges, just pick one to be the bottom. I'm gonna fold this serged edge over and then some, so there's like a little bit of a clean edge of just the fabric over here. I'm gonna pick matching thread and then do a round of stitching to hem it. There's only one more step after that and then we're done. It's gonna be great. I'm so excited that I stuck through this project, although, you know, we're not out of the woods yet, but I feel good about how these are coming along. Okay, you're gonna tuck your top loop with the right side out inside the stocking. So right side of this to the wrong side or lining of your boot, and you're gonna stitch along this top so that when you flip it out, pull this over and it's on the proper side. And then yeah, I'm gonna do another row of top stitching around this edge, but then these weird ass stockings are gonna be done. Okay, I'm gonna finish these so that I can like officially relax and not stress out about something happening and them not getting done. That's all I've been thinking about for like 3 days is these fucking stockings, and I'm glad they're almost there. But let us not put the cart before the horse. We did it, you guys. I'm so happy. I was doubting myself partway through the process, like when I first got them attached to each other and was turning them out. I don't think they look too bad. Oh boy, was I weird? Was past me super weird? I say this as if current me isn't weird, especially considering 2019 me didn't know what was coming in 2020. So, you know, I've become unhinged is what I'm telling you. Good thing I have a lighter now. I have cut these little pieces of ribbon for my finished stockings. Well, almost finished stockings, I guess. It's just that kind of grosgrain, non-stretchy stuff. It's super sturdy. And yeah, it's 10-inch piece. And I'm gonna burn the ends with the lighter. Don't hurt yourself when you do this. I mean, my shit says it's specifically not made for kids, but if you're under 18 watching this, have an adult help you. All right, cool, nice and easy. I'm gonna take those 2 ends, line them up together. The way I did these is I can flip that up, right? I'm gonna flatten out the top of the sock part seam allowance and then lay this about 1 inch down just so it has some good purchase, and you'll still have, you know, the 4 inches sticking out of the top. Well, 8 inches, but it's folded over, so it's only half as long. I probably didn't need to explain that to you, but here we are. And I'm not gonna worry about matching all the threads because this part up here is gonna get covered. So I just have white thread because in case you see inside, this part is white it seemed like the most logical conclusion to come to. Hooray! Tabs have been added! Now it looks like an actual stocking. Why didn't I think of this last year? And I do only have 3 here because, unfortunately, due to pandemic things, 2 of the people I made stockings for are not going to be here for Christmas. So they got shipped to them so that they can have them in their own home for the holiday, and we'll just do a Skype situation probably, as many people will be doing. At least they're done, and I feel like they're a little more pro now. Looking at this now, I certainly didn't do any of this with a twin needle, and it doesn't look too bad. But also, think of how much more quickly that would have gone had I known about twin needles at the time. Or, you know, gotten over my bullshit fear of using new things. How far I came this year. Genuinely, I feel like I have come very far this year in particular. I am actually going to do kind of like a year-end roundup, talk about my no-buy year, because as I mentioned in last week's video, it's boring getting updates about that because it's like, and yet another time I did not buy myself fabric or patterns. Here are the items I did not thrift. So yeah, it's not fun to get updates on that throughout the year, but doing like how well I did I cheat? How do I feel about having done it? Am I gonna do it again next year? All of these thoughts and more. I think scheduling wise, that'll actually be the video up on Christmas. So I'm also gonna do basically a Q&A thing. If you have questions, let me know and I will answer them in that video and talk about how 2020 went, you know? And then that way we can right out of the gate get into some bigger projects starting January. I have big plans. I'm very excited, and things just feel more feasible with the growth that I've had this year. So I'm challenging myself more. Going to continue on that path because I have felt very good about myself past however many months, and I want to continue to build myself up in that regard. All things we'll discuss in that video. So if you have things you want to talk about, comments, how your year has gone, if you did a no-buy year, how that went, if you have questions about it, let's do a little bit of a more back and forth type thing and not just me yammering at you forever. I've also had the time to put into my own self-growth this year as far as sewing and things because of everyone over on my Patreon. They are the most encouraging bunch and help me power through everything and just fiscally give me the opportunity to do the stuff that I've been doing here. So they are completely to blame for what you've been witnessing happen with me this year. They have actually offered up the Patreon exclusive, or what once was Patreon exclusive, Discord. They want to give everybody access. I'm not going to open it like to the public because that will bring in some shithead trolls and I will not stand for that in our little corner of the internet. But if you want to come hang out, you want to message me on like my Facebook page or Twitter, Instagram, drop me a line somewhere else and I will send you like a one-time use link. You can come hang out in the Discord with everybody and join the bog troll fray. I will say, I'm just really appreciative for everybody, whether you've stuck around for an inordinate amount of time or if you're a newcomer. It's been lovely having you all here. And yeah, I will see you in whatever that video turns into for next week. You're gonna help shape whatever that is if you have questions and stuff. It'll be a weird fun time, I'm sure of it. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Let's kick 2020's ass, huh?